Hey everyone, Myets here. With the release of Black Panther Wakanda Forever, the fourth phase of the MCU has come to an end, so I decided to make this video ranking and semi-reviewing every single Phase 4 MCU movie. Now this won't be including the TV shows or the presentations, this is just going to be the movies. So let's get right into this with the first film, Black Widow. Now, Black Widow. Now, I'm pretty sure this isn't really that hot of a take. This is definitely not one of the highlights of Phase 4. There are a lot of issues here. Like, for example, this movie feels like it should have come out in 2016. It feels really weird getting this movie at the beginning of Phase 4. It's just really off. Also, there are just some plot points in here which are kind of dumb. The characters here are actually pretty enjoyable. It'll be cool to see them again in other things, but unfortunately, the cast here can't really save this movie. Also, it's a shame what happened with Taskmaster, because the original comic book Taskmaster is really cool, and it feels like this version's a lot of wasted potential. So yeah, I actually devised here a little tier list for all the movies, and I have to say, Black Widow's going down at the bottom at D tier. And yeah, it's not a great movie. Hopefully, some of the next stuff can pick up. What am I talking about? I know what's up next. It's ShangChi. Next up is ShangChi, and wow, this is a major step up compared to Black Widow. This is a really good movie and definitely one of the best ones in Phase 4. All the main characters in this movie are great. I like the fact that Shang-Chi's dad, the main villain, isn't this stereotypical bad guy, and you understand why he does what he does in the movie. Also, the action scenes in this movie are awesome. Also, it's cool how they connected this movie to Iron Man 3. That was nice. And yeah, there's not really a lot of bad I can say about this movie. This film's great. So, on the tier list, I'm going to be putting it at A tier, because while I did really enjoy it, I still feel like there's something that's better than this movie. And that is definitely not Eternals. Now, where do I start with Eternals? First of all, I'll give this compliment. The movie is great visually, but then there's not really a lot of good things I can say. One issue is the fact that there's just a really large cast here. So it's hard to get invested in all of the characters, even with the 2 hour and 30-minute runtime. And it's also, just kind of odd that they kill off one of the characters at the beginning of the movie because, at this point we're just being introduced to everyone and, it's clearly meant to be an emotional scene, but it's hard to feel that when you barely know the characters. And the movie just feels like it has a bunch of storylines all going on at the same time, and not all of them really get fully developed except for like a couple. I will say this, I am excited for some of the stuff this movie sets up, but there's not a lot of other positive things I can say about this movie. So on the tier list, this is also going at the bottom in D tier. And now, you know what's coming. The next movie, Spider-Man: No Way Home. No Way Home's going at the top of the list. This is 100% the best movie of Phase 4. Everything about this movie is just amazing. Everybody in the main cast does an incredible job. It was cool seeing Charlie Cox's Daredevil being introduced in the MCU via this movie. All the previous Spider-Man villains which came back, especially Willem Dafoe, did such a great job. And of course, pretty much any scene with the 3 Spider-Men were just the best. And this movie's so great because it felt more than a movie. It felt like an event, and that's just something you don't really get to see a lot. And yeah, this movie is the best of Phase 4. And now, let's head to the next movie, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. It looks like Marvel's going with a winning streak in Doctor Strange 2 and the Multiverse of Madness. This was really an enjoyable movie, and it's great seeing Sam Raimi directing something again, because it's been quite a while since he's worked on like a big film. And yeah, this is a great movie. The story is good, everybody does a good job. It was really interesting seeing the Illuminati, even though they didn't have a lot of time on screen. One thing that I will say I was a little bit disappointed about was the fact that This was called The Multiverse of Madness, and they don't really go through that much of the multiverse as you'd expect from a movie with a title like that. But still, I'll definitely say that this movie is still really good. And on the tier list, I'd put it in the same tier as ShangChi in A tier. And now let's hope that they can keep the streak up with Thor: Love and Thunder. Well, that could have gone better. Unfortunately for Love and Thunder, it didn't just have some small mistakes. The main problem was just the core of the movie itself, really. Because there's a lot of stuff in here that has the potential to be great. For example, Christian Bale as Gore. He just does an amazing job at it, and it's such a shame we see so little of him in the movie. And also the other things that a lot of serious scenes in this film are just immediately undercut by jokes. And the thing is that Thor Ragnarok had a bunch of serious scenes, but it didn't do that. It actually let them play out. And that's one of the reasons why I feel this movie doesn't work as well, because any serious moment is immediately followed by a joke, and it really takes you out of it. Now, on the tier list, I'm going to be putting this at C tier, because while, yeah, this movie is really flawed, I'd still had a good time watching it, and it's definitely better than Black Widow and Eternals. Now let's get on to the last film, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. Now we have finally reached the last movie, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. Now, this was a good movie. They were in a really bad situation with the tragic passing of Chadwick Boseman, and I have to say that this was possibly the best way they could have continued on with Black Panther. And it's great that they were able to do this correctly, because it would have been really bad if they messed it up, which they didn't. Also, it was really cool that they introduced both Ironheart and Namor here, because those characters are probably going to be a lot more important as we go on in the MCU. And yeah, this is just a really good movie. And so on the tier list, I'm going to be putting this at the B tier, because like I said, this movie is really good, but I don't think it's on the same level as Shang-Chi and Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, but it still is a great film. Well, everyone, that's all the MCU films of Phase 4. Now, this phase was really interesting because, unlike all the other MCU phases, there wasn't this big film it built up to. And you know, this was just a really different phase, but I still did enjoy it. So let's hope Phase 5 is just as good, if not better than Phase 4. Yeah, I hope you all enjoyed today's video. If you did enjoy the video, subscribe. Yeah, I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one.